Well, I guess we'll begin. Thank you all for coming. This is the second in the series this semester of our Alumni Lecture Series, which is sponsored by our Community Advisory Board. And what it is it's a chance for the alumni of this campus and the programs we have here to come back and talk about how their degree programs have either helped them or play a part in what they're doing today. So today, our speakers, we have three actually that are all alumni from here. And our speakers are Andrea Krebs, who's the Executive Director for Health Affiliates Maine. Andrea earned her bachelor's degree in social behavioral sciences in 1997, and then she earned a master's degree in social work from the University of Maryland in Baltimore in 2000. Joining Andrea is Tina Barabee. Tina? Who is the Quality Assurance Director and Privacy Officer for Health Affiliates Maine. Tina earned her bachelor's degree in nursing from USM in 2006. And finally is Janet Verrill, who is the Utilization Review Supervisor for Health Affiliates Maine. And she earned her bachelor's degree in social behavioral sciences from USM with a minor in education in 2007. So join me in welcoming all three, and Andrea is going to start.
Thank you, Dan. Well, first I just want to say that I'm really excited that there's more than just two people here. I was worried there'd only be two people here, my mom and my aunt. So thank you for taking time out of your day to come to this. And just to sort of give you an outline of how this is going to go, each one of us is going to talk a little bit about our story related to Lewis and Auburn College and what we're doing now with Health Affiliates Maine. And then we're going to take some time to, because we're all in positions of hiring people, we'd like to take some time to talk about, maybe give some suggestions, some do's and don'ts about applying, interviewing, and what some things are that you might want to be paying attention to that the person that you're meeting with is paying attention to. So I'm going to start. Like Dan said, I got my bachelor's in social behavioral sciences in 1997, and I considered myself a non-traditional student, although I probably was a traditional student. I was 19 years old at the time. And what happened was when I was a senior in high school, I had applied and been accepted to the marine biology program at the University of New England. And as time went on, I graduated from high school, summer came, I was not looking forward to going back to school. And I had really had a lot of academic pressure in high school. I graduated 8th in my class, and I was really, frankly, just exhausted, and I just wanted to take some time off. So, much to the chagrin of my parents, I withdrew, and I decided to take some time off from school. So I had a job at Dunkin' Donuts, and I was working 25, 30 hours a week, and I had an apartment that I was paying a reduced rent for because my mom was the landlord, and I had a guy that I was in a relationship with that didn't have much of a future, was kind of going nowhere fast. And I remember quite vividly, it was March, and I was sitting in the kitchen and I thought, oh my God, this is the rest of my life. And I decided that was not what I wanted for the rest of my life. And so within a week I had applied, and I was scheduled for a placement test for LA College. And the reason why I chose LA College is because I did have a job in an apartment. I wasn't going to be going off to school. The whole dorm scene was not what I wanted. I really just wanted to go to school in a way that I was going to be able to afford and to be able to keep my life the way that it was. And so I was able to graduate in 4 years. I quit my job, became a work study student in the library, and that's how I met Dan. We worked together for a couple of years in the library. And I went on to get my master's degree in social work and got licensed as a clinical social worker, which is the highest you can have in the state of Maine. Met these two lovely ladies a few years later, and 4 years ago we established Health Affiliates Maine, which we'll talk more about in a little bit. So I'm going to pass it on to Janet. Okay.
Hello. Thank you for this opportunity, for allowing me to come here and share my story. So basically my journey that led me to Lewis and Auburn College was I was probably 6 months pregnant, had just been letting go of my job, trying to figure out what direction to go for and what would be best for my family. And I didn't live too far from here, and I knew that I wanted to pursue some type of educational degree. And so I came to Lewiston Auburn College to kind of scope out what they had to offer. I saw that there was 3 programs at the bachelor level, which was something I was looking for. Wasn't quite sure which one I wanted to go in, but I decided on the social behavioral sciences and enrolled in the program and started going along, taking my courses, and really started to feel that this was something that was fitting my life and something that really interested me. I had just had a baby. I was when I first started, she was six weeks old, and through my developmental classes and such, I was really able to use what I was learning at home and with my family. And then as further along as I got into my education, I started even learning about other fields within social behavioral sciences work. In particular, that one was mental health. And having a father who was diagnosed with manic depression, bipolar disorder, it really, really helped guide me to where I wanted to be. And I knew throughout my education here that I did want to work in the mental health field. And trying to get there was a little bit of a challenge. About 4 years into my studies here, my daughter got really sick, and I had to stop going to school. She got diagnosed with leukemia, and so I knew like my career was on hold, and it was very, very hard for me to accept that, because here I am about ready to enter into my junior year, and just to know that I had to put my future with my career on hold. And I took care of my daughter for 2 years. And I came back as soon as the opportunity allowed me, when she was entered into remission, and I finished school. And that was such a proud accomplishment, because I know sometimes things come and go throughout our lives, and it's really hard to get back to where we wanted to be. And I'm just so proud to be able to say that I did come back, and I finished with Lewiston Auburn College, and got my bachelor's degree. And from there, it took me about a year to find a job. It was really hard and difficult. I'd applied at Tri-County Mental Health, and they just weren't even taking an attempt or a stab at me. I didn't even get a call back. And I didn't really want to go into like DHHS and in the social work field. I really wanted to stick with that mental health. And whereas nothing was really turning up for me, I decided that maybe I should look into a different program. So I was actually looking into the nursing program that they had here. And during that time, I actually ended up with an interview. And that interview was actually with Andrea Krebs, who was vice president at the time of the company, along with the president of the company was interviewing me. And I remember sitting in that waiting area, waiting for me to get called in for my interview, knowing that they were interviewing somebody else. And I was very nervous. Didn't know, how things were gonna go, but I did know that from my experience here and what I have learned here and through my internship and my senior sem, that I felt pretty good of where I was at, and that when that person came out of that interview, the next interview after me also was walking in. So here I am, a lot of competition out there, and the girl said to me on her way out the door, she was like, "Good luck," and I could tell that this was going to be tough. And so I went in there, and I was honest, and I was open, and I shared what I had learned here at Lewiston Auburn College, and through my experience of my internship at DHHS. And I think Andrea really saw that some good qualities of what I had to say, and actually hired me right on the spot, right then and there, knowing that there was another interviewee out in the hall waiting after me. And I don't know how many positions were open or what, but I just want to say, while I have the opportunity, to thank you so much for that, because it's really, really changed my life. And I started out as being a utilization review specialist and a case manager. And I was new to the company, and I was felt kind of low on the totem pole and stuff. And I remember once Andrea came to me as vice president, and she asked me to look into something for her. And I said, okay, I will look into that. And so I ended up looking into it, and I hadn't had a chance to connect with her again. She was busy and out of the office, but I don't know if it was the next day or a couple of days after that, she had come up to me and she said to me, Janet, did you ever call THHS and find out this answer? And I said, actually, yes, I did. And it was so good for me to show and to prove something and not to procrastinate. And I know that that's like a big word, not a big word, but a big thing that people do that. Right, people do that so often. They just put things off. But I think here at Lewiston Armor College, you learn those things. Like we are so dependent. I know that there was a lot of group work and a lot of presentations that you had to do, and they really pulled people together. And you always had to be responsible for your part. And I learned that. And I think that was one of the key things that had. It just, I just needed to do what I had to do, and I did it right away when I had to do it. And when Andrea came to me and I was able to give her that answer, I was able to show somebody right about, someone with such high value to the company that I followed through on something right away, and I did make an impact on her. With all of that, just knowing that every chance and opportunity that you have, just to take advantage of it, because 3 years later, I became the team leader of the case management program that we have, and then just a year later, I became the utilization review supervisor. And I feel like it's because of the hard work and the effort and the opportunity and every chance that I can get. I'm there and I'm dedicated and I'm reliable, and she saw that within me, and I value that very much. But again, I think it all does come down to the key principles of your education and how much you want to get out of it, and to take advantage of certain opportunities that are given to you and not to let anything go by. And I think that's about it that I wanted to share, so thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Tina Barabee, and I am the Quality Assurance Director at Health Affiliates Maine. And I am also a very proud graduate of Lewiston Auburn College and Lewiston High School. I've been in the area all my life, and in 2006 I received my bachelor's degree in nursing from LAC. And I just want to say how honored I am to be asked to come back here today and tell my story. So for myself, like many other people, I was a non-traditional student. I attended my first day of college at the age of 31. I had a husband at home. I had been married 10 years. I had 2 school-aged children, a mortgage, everything. A lot like many of the other students here. You all know the story. And I had been running a daycare for about 8 years from my home, which was rewarding, but it got burnt out real fast, and decided to go out into the workforce and look for a different job. And I started looking around for a job, and I realized with only a high school diploma, even though it was a Lewiston high school diploma, and the skills that I had, I wasn't probably going to be making more than $8 an hour. And that wasn't what I was looking for. I knew that I was worth more than that, and I knew that I was capable of more than that as well. I could do more than what I had skill for. I just needed to get a degree to do it. So that was my goal. I needed to go out and find a degree. And having a family and a home in Lewiston, I had 2 options for myself. One was Lewiston Auburn College, and the other was the community college in Auburn. So I went to visit both. They're both very nice facilities. But the reason that I chose LAC over the community college was, for one, they had a wider range of bachelor's degree programs, which I knew I wanted to get a bachelor's degree. And secondly, when I came into the college for the first time, people were so nice and welcoming and inviting. And at 31, going to college, I had a low self-esteem. I didn't think that I was smart enough to go to college. I didn't think that I was the right age to go to college. I didn't think that I would be able to do it. And when I walked into the college, and the staff and the professors and the volunteers and the students were just so welcoming and engaging, it made me feel like I belonged there, that I wasn't the person that was going to stick out in the crowd. Everyone had a similar story as to myself. So I chose Lewiston Auburn College, and the next step I had to do was choose a degree program. I had no idea what I wanted to do. So at LAC I had a few options. There was accounting and business and occupational therapy, teaching, nursing, social behavioral sciences. And I chose nursing. And the reason that I chose nursing was because I liked working with people. I heard the pay was okay. And also, because with the nursing degree, I had so many options, because I still didn't know where I wanted to go, but I just knew I needed that degree. And with a nursing degree, I could work in a clinical situation, a clinical office. I could work in the hospital. I could work in a school. I could work in an administrative field. I could work in mental health. I could work with children, adults. I just had so many options with this. It was a diverse degree. So I applied and was accepted to the nursing program. And 5 years later, after writing numerous term papers and reading and reading and reading till I didn't think I could ever read again in my life. And just the clinicals, 5 years later, I earned that nursing degree. And on December 16th, it might have been the 19th, December 19th, 2006, I got my bachelor's degree in nursing. And it was one of the proudest moments of my life to get that bachelor's degree, have my sons see their mom get a bachelor's degree. My husband was there, my aunts and uncles, and it was just so rewarding, and it wouldn't have been possible if I didn't have Lewiston Auburn College in my community. So after I got my degree, I needed to get a job. And I started looking around for jobs, and during my clinical rotations, I realized that probably working in a hospital wasn't the best place for me. I liked mental health, and I also learned that I really liked administrative work. So I came across this job. A mental health agency was looking for a quality assurance specialist. And the requirements were a bachelor's degree in social services, mental health, or health-related fields. Well, I had my nursing degree, so I fit right in. And it was a mental health agency, administrative work. I'm like, this might work out. So I sent in my resume. I, too, had an interview with Andrea. And I didn't get hired on the spot, though. But I was offered the position, and I took it. And I've been working under Andrea for 7 years now. I started as the quality assurance specialist, and within a year, I moved up to quality assurance manager. And 3 years ago, I became the director, the quality assurance director and privacy officer of Health Affiliates Maine. And I am very proud to say that. I love the agency. I love the people I work for. I love the community that we support, that we serve. And none of this would have been possible, again, without the opportunity that I had to come to Lewiston Auburn College. And I really am truly grateful for that. And it's not only empowered me as far as my career, but just my self-confidence and knowing that I can do it. And coming to something like this, I mean, I was so nervous to come here, but once I got up and started talking, it's a great feeling to think that someone from Lewiston, I grew up in Lewiston, went to Lewiston High School, went to Lewiston Auburn College, still working in the Lewiston Auburn area, and I'm here today, so I'm very proud. I'm very grateful for that. And to all the students out there, I just want them to know that it pays off in the end. All the nights that you have to sacrifice when your friends are going out for drinks and you're home reading a bunch of boring stuff that, you know, you have better things to do. All those sacrifices in the end really pay off, and you get rewarded with the self-satisfaction of having that degree, of having a job that you enjoy, and just having a decent income and supporting your family and being able to live independently and take care of yourself. So that's my story. And one other thing I wanted to mention, I tried to take a little shortcut when I was in college, and I took an online public speaking course, which at the time seemed like a good idea. But when it comes to situations like this, I really wish I hadn't have taken that shortcut. But that's my story, and thank you so much.
Tina, it's nice to see you because I took over for Dory. Remember, she was ill. I'm the one who
Lynn.
took over for Dory.
Yes,
so
I
it's
remember
nice
you.
to see you.
Yes, you too. Thank you.
So now we're going to talk a little bit about Health Affiliates Maine, and we have a PowerPoint presentation that we're going to share with you. This is the first time we've shared this PowerPoint presentation. It's new. So Health Affiliates Maine is a statewide licensed mental health and substance abuse agency. We started in August of 2010, and we have over 300 clinicians. So those are clinical social workers, marriage and family therapists, clinical professional counselors, psychologists, and substance abuse counselors all over the state. And that includes Aroostook County, Washington County, Oxford County, York County, all the places in between. And we also have 75 case managers that are all throughout the state as well. And case managers identify needs that clients may have, people that have some significant mental illness, and link them to resources that they might need. That includes basic needs, food, clothing, shelter, but also potentially educational services, job skills, doctors, counselors, that sort of thing. We also just started a medication management program. We've hired our first psychiatric nurse practitioner. He's going to be starting with us on Monday. And so we are going to be providing medication management in Auburn first, and then within the next couple of months throughout the state as well. So that's very exciting. And in 2013, we were named in Inc. magazine's top 3,000 fastest growing private companies in America. We were number 1,049. And the owners of Health Affiliates Maine, Emil Clavet and Kevin Dean, went to Washington, D.C. to accept an award for that. So that was exciting. Who do we serve? We serve everybody. Children that aren't even one. So babies, we do family therapy with families. We work with young children, adolescents, adults, couples, families, groups, the whole gamut of the population. We provide, I've talked about this a little bit already, but counseling services for mental health disorders, substance abuse disorders, co-occurring disorders. So that's when someone has both a mental health and substance abuse disorder that are primary. We also provide DEEP services, that's driver education and evaluation program. Medication management services, which is the prescribing of psychiatric medications. Case management services, and we also have an employee assistance program, where we work with other companies, particularly right now in the area, providing their employees with counseling and case management. We are culturally competent, so we provide ongoing cultural competency training and supervision for our employees, affiliates, and case managers. We serve a large number of English as a second language folks in Lewiston, Auburn, and Portland. We have a large population of Somali refugee clients that we work with, and in fact we have 15 case managers currently that work with that population, and 13 of them are Somali themselves. And so that really reduces the barrier for clients to be able to access services with us. And for folks that are white Americans, Somali folks have a hard time interacting with them. We have interpreters that work with us as well, that a variety of languages, including Somali and Swahili, but also French and Arabic, and some of the other languages, Iraqi. And so because of that, we're able to provide services to folks regardless of the nationality of the person that's providing the service. Military service members, as you probably know, the wars are ending, which is fantastic. What happens as a result of that is that the Department of Defense reduces the amount of funding that they have for services for people coming back. And so over the last year, there have been significant cuts to mental health and substance abuse support for folks that are coming back from deployment. And we have been working with the National Guard in Maine to create a link to Health Affiliates Maine. Our psychiatric nurse practitioner is a 17-year veteran of the United States Navy. Our outpatient director worked with the National Guard for 2 years. We have someone on our board that is a retired service member. And so we're really trying to work hard to integrate into the military community. Maine has the highest number of veterans per capita in the rest of the entire United States. So it's very important that we are working with this population as well. We go to military resource fairs and community events, their trainings, we invite them to our trainings. So we're trying to really create a link so that they have another option after they lose the services that they have right now.
So we also offer outpatient mental health and substance abuse services, and I just want to get out a couple of notes I have before I start. So what brings people to counseling? There's a whole wide variety of reasons people go to counseling. Sometimes it's due to mental and emotional problems like depression, anxiety, panic disorders, bipolar disorders, sexual identity problems, trauma, reactions, unresolved childhood trauma, addiction, codependency, and other struggles. And sometimes it's due to relationship issues like divorce, marital discord, parenting and co-parenting problems, grief, loss, school-related problems, and many other possible reasons. We see clients from all different walks of life. Sometimes clients have a long history of mental health issues. They've got chronic mental health issues and they're in and out of counseling their entire lives. But then we have clients that just due to they're seeking services due to something that's going on in the moment. Maybe they've lost a loved one, they're going through a divorce, the child is having a difficulty in class. There's a whole wide variety of reasons that people will go to counseling. The mental health services that we provide are statewide, and they're offered in private offices by licensed clinicians, such as LCSWs, LCPCs, LMFTs, and PhDs. They're all licensed. And we offer traditional and alternative therapy options. Traditional therapy would include cognitive behavioral therapy, strength-based therapy, family therapy. And then we also offer yoga therapy, art therapy, music therapy, play therapy, and something new for Health Affiliates Maine, we're now offering teletherapy counseling. And clients can receive counseling services from the comfort of their own home, and they have counseling via Skype, sometimes a telephone, but usually it's via Skype, so they can see their counselor on the screen. And this is very important for clients that are in rural areas. Maybe there aren't licensed clinicians in their area, they're 55 miles away or whatever to see the first clinician. Sometimes it's due to transportation issues. Moms that are home, they have a few kids, they can't get daycare, they can have therapy in their own home. Sometimes people struggle with leaving their homes as part of their mental illness. So that's becoming really popular is teletherapy. It's something we're offering through Health Affiliates Maine. And we also offer therapeutic groups. And group therapy could include substance abuse therapy in groups, trauma, clients that have all had some type of trauma in their lives, and pain management groups. Health Affiliates Maine also has a substance abuse program, and clients can go for confidential therapy, individual therapy for those afflicted with addiction issues, as well as their families and other people that are with them that are affected by their abuse or misuse of drugs and alcohol. We offer therapeutic groups for adults and adolescents with substance abuse problems, and early recovery groups and aftercare groups as well. Something else that's fairly new to Health Affiliates Maine is we're now offering deep assessments, and deep assessments are for clients that recently received a DUI, driving under the influence, and we need to determine whether or not this was just a bad choice or is there an underlying substance abuse issue. So that's what we do with deep assessments. So that's new and growing, and not a lot of agencies are offering that service right now, so I think that it's going to be something that's really going to soar and take off with Health Affiliates Maine. We also offer medication management, which I'm going to let Andrea talk about.
So medication management is a new program for us. Our medical director is a psychiatrist, a practicing psychiatrist from St. Mary's Hospital. He does both inpatient and outpatient psychiatry. His name is Dr. Kevin Kapusian. We've just hired our first psychiatric nurse practitioner. And we have about 10 folks that are in different parts of the state, both psychiatric nurse practitioners and psychiatrists, so that's a medical doctor or doctor of osteopathy, that are going to be working with us and in process of credentialing with us in order to be able to provide medication management services in their office. So basically what they do is you go see a med manager, and they do an assessment, you do a treatment plan with them, and they identify if you need medications for your recovery. Some folks can go to therapy, maybe they've had an event that's happened in their life, like Tina has said, and they can just focus on that and work with their counselor on coping skills related to that. Other folks that have depression or bipolar or anxiety have a chemical imbalance in their brain, and they need to have a medication that can help create an equilibrium so that then they can learn some coping skills. And that's where medication management comes in. Medication management gives them the ability to learn some of those other coping skills, the healthy coping skills. And our medication managers collaborate with our case managers and our providers and other providers in the community. That's a big, we're very client-driven, and it's a big thing for Health Affiliates is that we want our providers to be collaborating. Research says that the first and most important reason why people are successful in treatment is because they have a good relationship with their provider, and the second is because their providers are communicating with each other. So we want to make sure that we have both of those things for our clients. And then also, it's important that medication providers are communicating and following up with primary care physicians so that everybody that's part of the treatment team for this person is aware of the medications, the side effects, because PCPs prescribe other medications. They need to know everything that someone is taking. And also sometimes med providers will see a client for a limited period of time and then send them back to their PCP, and their PCP continues their prescribing of that medication. One of the things that we take pride in, I guess, at Health Affiliates Maine is that our goal is to reach every corner of the state of Maine. And so we want people to always be able to access services. And we do that by partnering with clinicians that are and med providers that are in their own offices throughout the state, so that people don't have to drive 55 miles to the city to a brick and mortar building. They can go down Main Street in their town, and there's a counselor there that's connected with Health Affiliates Maine, that's under our supervision and under our agency umbrella. So that's one of the things we try to do. We also are probably one of the last agencies that still provides community-based case management. None of our case managers have an office. Their office is their car. And we are a boots-on-the-ground case management agency, and we're really proud of that. So we go to clients where they're at, and we provide services to them. And then also through teletherapy, as Tina mentioned, for people that just are not able to get to a counseling appointment for a variety of reasons: disabilities, location, family responsibilities, agoraphobia. and we're able to provide that treatment to them. We have, I think, 7 clinicians now that are approved by the state. You have to have approval by the state to be able to do that. That are approved by the state to be able to provide therapy through video conferencing on the internet.
So I'll be talking about our case management services in our program at Health Affiliates Maine. What is case management? Case managers help clients and families identify their strengths and needs, identify community resources, and provide connection to services. Some of the needs that we can help the clients with is to address their housing, any employment, linkage to voc rehab, to help and assist with that employment or educational needs. Mental health, of course, linking to like therapy, therapists and med management. Medical care and recreation, basic needs and legal assistance. Who qualifies for services? Adults, children, and families struggling with a recent mental health diagnosis, or children with chronic medical conditions. That's something new that we are offering through Health Affiliates. We do case management with children who have been diagnosed with a chronic medical condition, and there's not that many agencies or case management programs that do offer that specialized service. You must have full main care for case management service and have multiple needs based on the severity of your symptoms. Specialized case management, like Andrea talked about before, we do serve a number of specialized populations. We do have case managers who are specifically trained for these populations, which include culture-specific, children with chronic medical conditions, and transitional youth through homelessness and those who are at risk of homelessness. We also serve adults with severe mental illness and chronic medical conditions, adults with substance abuse diagnoses. This is also something new that we're going to be doing, that we're starting up, providing case management to those who are involved with recovery with substance abuse. Also specialized group settings such as trauma recovery and peer supported work groups. And why choose Health Affiliates Maine for case management? There's no wait list. Just this morning I was meeting with a couple of other providers, and they had mentioned that for case management, Tri-County happens to have a wait list of 6 months for case management services for some of their future potential clientele, and Health Affiliates Maine does not have a wait list at all for case management services. Case managers who do have billable hour, they don't have billable hour requirements, and what that means is a lot of times, let's say if you were going to go be a case manager at other agencies, they require you to have a certain billable workload, and it can be up fairly high. And one of the benefits of having our case managers allowing to make their own schedules and not putting a certain quota on them is that they're able to provide that individual client care and spend the amount of time that they need to with that client and that individual to get them to be where they need to be at for their recovery. Our case managers also receive a very high level of supervision and trainings. Health Affiliates Maine has weekly supervisions with our case managers and is always providing continuing education support and trainings for our case managers, which are very, very great and beneficial, and we hear a lot of positive things from our case managers who do attend those trainings. We are culturally competent, and we work collaboratively with our treatment team.
About a year ago, I got a phone call from a shoe shop that had just unexpectedly lost their EAP service, and they were down the road from us, they were close to us, and they asked if we would be able to provide that service to them. And so hence started our employee assistance program. So we offer employee assistance to multiple companies, and essentially what that is, it's a benefit that employers pay for their employees. They're allowed to have 5 sessions per problem per year of counseling, and also 5 sessions per problem per year for case management. And so Essentially what that means is that employees can voluntarily call if they're going through something, if they've had a death in the family, if they're having problems with their child, they can call the EAP service and get a counselor. If they're having a problem with housing, they can call the EAP service and get a case manager. And the employer can also mandate someone to go to EAP counseling if someone's coming to work and they're intoxicated, and that rather than firing them right away, they can say, we want you to go see an EAP counselor. So those are sort of the two ways that we provide services. And that also is for family members of the employee. And some things that we work with the employee on, depression, anxiety, addiction, trauma, grief and loss, parenting, financial issues, the basic needs, food, health, housing, clothing, legal issues. Those are some of the reasons why people call us for EAP services. The other thing that we do is we support the leadership team at the company to help them understand about substance abuse and mental illness, to help them address poor job performance, poor attendance. We had an incident where there was an employee that died unexpectedly, and our EAP counselor was there on site when they announced that to the rest of the staff. So then we can be there to do on-the-spot debriefing and crisis work as well. And we also do what we call lunch and learns. So before the holidays, we went and we did a lunch and learn on holiday stress and holiday blues. And we did another one in February on conflict in the workplace. And it's just an informal psychoeducation to the employees about how they can make their work environment better. How do you refer? We have a personal referral process. Our referral coordinator takes the client information and matches it to the appropriate person, depending on geography, depending on the population that the provider serves, the type of diagnoses that they serve and the treatment that they provide, the type of insurance. And so it's a personal match. As Janet said, we don't have a wait list for services. That's both for counseling and for case management services. And we accept referrals by phone call. From our website, you can make a confidential referral. We have a space where you can put your name and phone number in, and someone will call you back within 2 days. And then also by fax. That's it. Health Affiliates Maine, if you need help, we can help. The last thing we just wanted to talk about is, as people who hire, we just had sort of a couple of do's and don'ts or tips that we wanted to say to those of you that might be looking for a job. And so I'm just going to say my two, and then I'll pass it on to Tina. My two things, the first is that when you come to an interview, be dressed for an interview. Don't be wearing jeans, don't be wearing a t-shirt. If you have piercings, take them out for that. Look professional and look like the job that you're applying for. That's what you need to look like. And second, learn about the company that you're applying to. Do some research on them. Know what's important to them, and talk in your interview about how you think you can add to the value of the agency or the company, and how you think your philosophy is the same as the company. So that's my two suggestions.
I have lots of suggestions. When we post a job, either with jobsinmaine.com or different websites, we literally get hundreds of resumes for a receptionist position, let's say. I've got 100 resumes to go through in this receptionist position. I'm not reading everyone from top to bottom. I'm going to skim through them really fast, and if it catches my eye, I'm going to put it to the side, but I'm only going to put about 5 or 6 aside because I don't have time to interview 100 people. So it's so important to be precise, be articulate, don't have any typos, don't call me Mr. Barabee, or Andrea, Andrew, and just be precise, don't have any typos, grammatical errors, get it on 1 or 2 pages tops, and because that's the first impression that I'm going to have of someone applying for a position at Health Affiliates Maine. So that's my first suggestion. My second suggestion is rehearse a little bit, because no matter what position you're going for, there's always going to be similar questions. What are your strengths and weaknesses? Well, whether you're applying for the receptionist position or a truck driving position or something at Walmart, they're going to ask you these similar questions. What are your strengths and weaknesses? Describe a time when you had to work with a difficult coworker. What did you do? Tell me a little bit about yourself. Be prepared for those things. What do you know about Health Affiliates Maine? What do you know about the agency? So like Andrea said, do your homework first and have a little bit of insight on those things. So those are very important. Dress professionally. And when you do drop off that resume or send the resume over, remember there's 100 people that are probably applying for the same job. It's okay to give a phone call and say, hi Tina, this is so-and-so, I sent my resume in, I'm really interested in the position, I hope you take me in consideration. And that one person that's calling me back, I'm going to go back and look at their resume again. And if they kind of fit what I'm looking for, I'm going to call them in for an interview because they're showing that they have motivation, interest, they've got what I'm looking for. Just that one phone call shows that they're motivated. So I think that that's important too. I wouldn't call more than once though, because after you call twice, now you're going to start making my job harder. I'm looking for someone that's going to make my job easier, not harder. So call once, and that's good. But those are my suggestions.
Just to just to add to that, of course, those are great and excellent suggestions. But from my personal experience, I guess it would just to definitely know what it is that you're looking for in the position and what that company is offering, and to make sure that you at least withhold or can understand and follow the mission statement of that place of where you're going to be. And I think with that, you'll get a long way. And as well, during the interview, if you could show interest and that you're motivated and you're reliable. I know that there was a couple of interviews that where I've found the interviewee not to be all that excited and not to really make that special thing stick out. So just to really be positive and outgoing and show your interest, and that can go a long way.
People have questions?
Questions?
Yeah. You've mentioned referrals. If we had a student, because we're not really authorized to refer people, but if we have a student, can we give them your phone number? Can
Absolutely.
people refer themselves to
Yes,
you? Kind of thing?
absolutely.
And they can also go to our website.
I guess that was my question. It's not just referrals from professionals or a primary care provider or a DHS. I could call.
You
if-
can call.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the general public could call.
Yes.
How do we know about that? I mean, what are you doing marketing-wise to let the general public know?
Yeah, well, we go to lots of resource fairs where there are clients at or potential clients at, and some of them are subject specific, so some of them are for elder care, some of them are specifically for substance abuse, some of them for military population, and we give our information out that way. We also give our information out to other providers to give directly to their patients, so doctors' offices. We give our information to schools and that sort of thing, so that's there as well. And we were on the radio
Yeah.
for a while.
Yeah. And it was like, what's it,
Uncle Andy's.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
we do
we've
some
had some
promotional things. here,
Bangor
yeah.
Daily News had put us in the,
Yeah, we have a big
Multiple times.
marketing event right now with the Bangor Daily News. We're going to be in print and digital and sponsoring some of their health and wellness materials and stuff. So
Is it not just main care? Somebody could have private insurance and they could come
Absolutely.
use your services.
yes,
even if they don't have insurance, they can be self-pay. Sometimes we do sliding scale, pro bono work.
Do you guys have any cards? Because we're in the Student Success Center, so we're kind of front line, so.
I have
it'd be-
business cards.
Yeah, that'd be great, because then we could just,
yeah,
if we had a troubled student. we
yeah,
could take those
absolutely.
on.
Yeah.
I was excited to see you come.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have known from the name and logo that it was mental health. And I think
Right.
That was a very conscious decision, but that initial little, from the SBS program, of course, I'm thinking, oh, I wish we had our students here. I can share the video, Dan, to students. Have you had interns from this LAC college? Is there a niche for interns?
There is a niche for interns. I have one right now through Central Maine Community College, but certainly we could definitely look at that to have somebody. I mean, I'm not sure where I'm at with accepting them. I mean, I definitely go to my supervisor, make sure, but I mean, I would definitely explore the possibility for sure.
We've had quite a few interns.
Yeah.
And as an SBS grad, you know what that
Right.
program's about.
Yes,
as well, so
absolutely.
that's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
Well, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Did you have a question?
Yeah, so the last alumni presenter that we had was Jonathan Shapiro, who is a state trooper. And as his capstone project, he created a program that they're using in York County where the police can show up in a crisis situation and have the skills to identify mental health issues. So instead of putting somebody into the law enforcement system, they're able to get services for them through the mental health providers. Do you guys also provide that crisis management piece?
We don't provide crisis management. No, we're outpatient and community-based. Yeah, and there are specific agencies in the state that provide crisis management. Not all agencies do. You have to have a contract with the department to do that. So.
Tina, would you guys be a good site for the nursing practicum or not?
No.
really? No.
Well, with our new med management program, if they were advanced practice nurses, psychiatric nurse practitioners, yes. But for a bachelor's level nurse, probably not.
So the NP
I'm in a
program.
non-traditional role as a nurse, yeah.
Yeah, because I know that some of the MPs go through St. Mary's and do their practical work.
Bobby Hill, though, she was working for Androscoggin Home Health in the hospice.
She still is.
And she's not in hospice care anymore, but she's doing home care. So she might be somebody that would be interested in having a student nurse.
I hadn't seen her and ran into her at Da Vinci's the other day. So you guys, you're all coming back.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
great.
So Andrea, did you hire them because they were USM LAC grads? I mean, in addition to
It definitely makes a difference. It's funny because I sent him a message out this morning letting everybody know that we were coming to do this today, and this response we got was overwhelming. We were surprised. And we have several employees that have their degree from LA College and in our office, but also a lot of our case managers have degrees from LA College, SBS.
And one of our employees, Renee Stevens, I don't know if you remember her, she was in college. We went to high school together, and I bumped into her here in like 2001, and we were both students. And then I got her resume for a position that she was applying for, and I'm like, is this the same Renee? And I looked, and it showed that it took her 10 years. She was a student at LAC, but she pulled through it, and she got her bachelor's degree. And now she's a referral coordinator over at Health Affiliates. So she stuck to it, and it all paid off.
I know I had Mary Sylvain Leonis on my resume, and I remember during my interview, Andrea looked at that, and she actually said out loud, "Oh, I know Mary," and I didn't know how she knew her, but now that I look back, I'm thinking it's probably
Oh,
here.
yeah.
So everybody
Sure
knows
it
Mary. I probably helped a little bit,
Yeah.
maybe, just to see it. Yeah.
Now, Andrea, at the last advisory board meeting,
Yep.
The question about crisis management came up, and you don't do that, but you did mention that you have reached out to like school departments before to offer your services or to be on
Yes.
call. Is it when they have like a crisis?
Correct.
So it is something that I just want to make sure that I'm
Yep.
clear that you do sort of offer, but is what you're referring to that you don't offer like on the minute or?
Correct.
Okay.
Right, so it's when someone is in a mental health crisis and they need to call someone to come right now to do an assessment of them, we don't do that service. But what you're speaking to, Dan is a member of our advisory board at Health Affiliates Maine, and so what you're speaking to is that we provide services to school systems, among other different organizations, and when they have a crisis, or when they have a student death. Recently there was a student death at Auburn Middle School. So we go to the school as a team and provide services to that school because we provide outpatient counseling to that school. And that way, all the rest of the staff from the other schools don't have to go because there are always family members, teachers, and others in the other schools that are impacted by that death, and they need to have support at their school too.
And how much do you charge?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any more questions?
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thank
so much for coming to see us.
Or?